you're ready, your scores are where they need to be, and then you travel to your test destination, and boom.
Anxiety is so high on test day. It's so easy to make mistakes.
Stuff can happen like that. I hope that doesn't happen to anybody.
At least the NBO me got a laugh out of it. That's perfect.
If you need a good laugh, yeah, that was my story.
Shannon, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate you and all the time that you're wasting spending your Saturday talking to me. Can you give us a brief introduction?
Yes. Hi, I'm Shannon Kirkland. I'm a third year at LMU DCOM, and Pre-Educated helped me pass COMLEX 1.
Love it. It's almost as if it was scripted, but it's definitely not.
No, I did that myself.
Yeah. So could you tell us a little bit about your background and just like your test taking history leading up to, say, before you started working with us?
Sure. Yeah. So never been a gifted standardized test taker. Struggled with MCAT and passed that, got in medical school, did pretty good on med school exams, and then boom, COMLEX 1 hit. Before I started with Pre-Educated, it really started out with like resource overload for me. I mean, I had Sketchy Farm, I had Sketchy Micro, I had Pathoma. I mean, all these different resources, and it was so overwhelming on like where to start. At first, it was just doing a bunch of practice questions every day, not knowing if I was reviewing them correctly, not knowing if I was using the resources to the best of my ability, not really knowing how to use Anki that well. I know how that sounds coming from a second year med student. You'd think I'd know, but honestly, it can be tricky sometimes. Then after the first COMLEX attempt, I was just burnt out and just desperate for help. So I started looking and I found y'all, Pre-Educated, and it completely turned that process around. Resource overload went away. We looked at what were the best options to use to help guide in studying. We looked at how to use Anki correctively and effectively. And we also looked at how you can use your time to the best of your advantage, not overstudy.
Yeah, no, that's thank you for that. That's a lot. We met you on your second attempt, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good piece of information. And it just sounded like you had a lot of resources to use. Shout out to Sketchy, not sponsored, but if they want to, hit me up. And were you using Anki or just not yet?
Not how I should have been using it. And using it as like I saw that once and end.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. There's two major pitfalls. One is not using Anki at all. And then the second one is not using it correctly. And I think obviously we fall more into the second category there. Okay, Shannon. So you failed level 1 the first time. How did you end up hearing about us?
Well, my school had told me some of the other tutoring companies to reach out to, like Wolfpack and Pass. And I looked at their programs and I didn't love the idea of it not being DO-led. You know, I really wanted to focus on the COMLEX exam. I didn't want to take STEP, USMLE. So I ended up Googling, do a quick Google search, trying to find a DO-led tutoring program. And Pre-Educated popped up. And I didn't know anyone that had done Pre-Educated at my school, but I know there are people that have done Pre-Educated, like friends at other schools that had said, hey, like, yeah, that is a really good tutoring company. So once I did the first meeting and stuff, I could tell that it was completely different from any other tutoring company.
Cool. Okay. So you didn't know anybody at your school that used us, but you knew people at other schools that used us?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome because like as a former ortho gunner, it was already hard enough to make friends. Nevertheless, making friends at other schools. So you know what? Power to you.
I guess I knew him from undergrad.
I guess that's just a personal problem, not having friends.
Yeah, Dr. Lucas.
Yeah. So did you do like a trial session, or was it just talking to friends that made you decide you wanted to work with us?
Yeah, I had messaged someone that had used Pre-Educated, and they said it was a great experience. And then I ended up doing the trial session, and I met you and talked with Nate, and I told Nate that, I was a little nervous about doing another tutoring company because I have used many tutoring companies for MCATs and et cetera. So Nate put my fears to rest. He said it would be completely different, which it was. And it really started from the trial session.
That's awesome. That's exactly why Nate gets to keep his job.
God, thank you. Nate, thank me later.
So when you first started working with us, what was it that you were really looking to change or modify about your study plan, your habits, whatever you were doing previously?
Ooh, good question. I think the biggest thing was when you find out you failed COMLEX 1, it's kind of like a personal attack.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you didn't study hard enough. Maybe it's lack of effort. All those things run through your mind. And so that's what I wanted to change because I knew it wasn't that.
Right.
I knew that I had studied more than most people. I knew that I had put in more effort than most people, and I did not get that result. So when coming to Premeditated, one of the big takeaways for me was like, you'll even most times study less, but you're going to be studying more effectively. And so I wanted to know how your approach is to all this like vast amount of material, taking that and then not overstudying, but studying exactly what you need.
That's literally what I say, even in my advertising. I say it's never a problem with how much you're studying. It's just the strategy that's the problem. And that's always the problem. I think I've met only one person in my entire career that where maybe it was just not studying enough. But for the vast majority of people, it's just, you got to be doing something a little differently. And unfortunately, it's like a lot of people just don't figure out what works for them until they get to level 1. And then it really bites them in the butt. And then they end up working with us and we help them figure it out. Wish it was, 2 years earlier, but better late than never.
Yeah, that's true. Better late than never.
So we try to take a super comprehensive approach to your prep. We do all the thinking for you, all the study planning. I tell you exactly what questions to do and what topics. I'll even tell you how many flashcards to be doing, what videos to watch. Kind of a two-part question. One, was that helpful? And then 2, what do you feel like was the most helpful if you had to single out one thing?
Oh my God. Yes, it was extremely helpful. I mean, I went from, the first attempt, I went from just watching every sketchy video known to man, working my way down the line, but not remembering hardly any of it after 300 videos or whatever it is, to you pinpointing what videos I'm falling weak on, what areas and the questions I'm missing. And then I go back and review just those. I think that was probably one of the, if not the most helpful thing, because it really cut down on the resource overload.
And that gets back to like the whole reason that you came to us in the first place, and probably why the first attempt wasn't so successful is just you had so much to do and you were working really hard. You just didn't know exactly how to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and what worked well for you at that point.
Yeah.
So obviously working with us is not cheap. We're a premier COMLEX tutoring resource, DO founded, like everything you absolutely need. And apart from finally getting my egg money back from you, what would you say to a potential student who's considering working with us, but maybe he's on the fence for whatever reason?
Okay, I would tell that person to at least look into it, do the trial session. Once you do the trial session, it's hard not to be sold because there really is that no risk guarantee. If you pass it, great. If you don't pass it, they'll go through it with you again at no cost. And if you really try another attempt and don't pass it, then you get your money back. So it's no harm to you at all. Financially, when you look at it, it may have a, like a larger price tag on it. But what I will say, and what many people know to be true, is you get what you pay for. So if you can swing it, that's great. Is different from other tutoring companies because you're not sitting in a large group of students, a horrible ratio like 50-1. It's not like that. It really is looking at you 1-to-1. What are you struggling with and how can we get you past the pass line?
Absolutely. Love it. Shannon, Dr. Kirkland, I appreciate that. I'm going to have to put that on TikTok or something. That was great.
Okay. At least I said something right. It's great.
Hey, no, that was perfect. Not scripted. I swear. And yeah, that's 100%. Like that's our whole goal. I'm so confident that I can help you, that my team can help you, can help these students, that we literally put a pass guarantee on just about everything we do. Even our students that are on their very last attempt, we have third attempters, even fourth attempters. Fortunately, didn't make it to that point, Shannon. But
oh God.
Even those people, like their very last attempt, we'll still give you the pass guarantee. If you don't pass, we refund you. Simple as that. And I haven't had to refund anybody yet, by the way.
There we go.
Not scripted. So, Shannon, we actually had a little hiccup when we were getting down to test day. You know, we did all of our prep. We saw your practice scores trending upward toward the end, and I think you felt more confident. We were ready to go in. We sent you in a test day, and then what happened?
Okay, so here we are. Picture this. You're ready. Your scores are where they need to be. And then you travel to your test destination. And you get in the hotel the night before. You wake up the next morning. You're ready to go. You drive to the Pearson Test Center, and boom, you lock yourself out of your car with all of your belongings in the car. Okay. I had to run into the Pearson Center, tell them what was going on. And I did indeed miss COMLEX 1 on my retape. Definitely not how I wanted to spend that day. Had to get a locksmith out there too, but you know what? It's okay. It all ended up being okay. And so what we did was just reschedule, and MBOME worked with me to reschedule it. And Dr. Lucas calmed me down and definitely had some anxieties about going in the next time. You know, definitely don't want to lock yourself out of your car twice. But I did feel ready, and I did feel anxiety had been lessened. Even talking to Dr. Lucas about that, you know, things happen, life happens. Don't let it hurt. Don't let it hurt the COMLEX. If you need to reschedule, you always can. So stuff can happen like that. I hope that doesn't happen to anybody. But if you need a good laugh, yeah, that was my story.
A couple weeks later, another student had a similar episode where he was like driving into a parking ramp, and he put his card into the card reader to like get a ticket and everything. He parked, went into the testing center, and then realized he didn't have his wallet, or like didn't have his card or something like that. It's like, oh no, I lost my card. So he went all the way back out to the parking garage. He's like, okay, let me check the card reader. And it wasn't there. And then he went back to his car like, oh gosh, I hope I left it in my car. And it was just like sitting right there in the car.
Oh my God. But still anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like anxiety is so high on test day. It's so easy to make mistakes. And that's why I put you in my PowerPoint.
Of course. Like, no, I have a story to tell. It's great.
Yeah. Just like, you just got to slow down on test day. It's going to be okay. Deep breaths and double check you have everything you need multiple times throughout the process.
Yes. And if it's any consolation, MBOME kind of thought it was funny. So there's that. There's that.
That's great. At least the NBOME got a laugh out of it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So why do you think some students are a little more hesitant to get help? And I mean, do you have anything that you would say to them?
Oh, yeah. I think that, you know, when you transition from class exams and then suddenly COMLEX just hits you, I feel like a lot of times it can be the old comparison game. I mean, you're sitting in class and you're studying while your peers are studying for the same exam, and maybe some of the peers are exceeding and they're going to finish it, you know, earlier or whatever. Some students are falling behind, or maybe they're just struggling to find what really works for them. So they think, why would I need to seek outside help? Why can't I do this myself? So they're going to try all these resources and, you know, and try and just hit it super hard. That's good in theory, but it will overwhelm you and you will get overtired and just burn out. So if you feel like you are a student that does need extra help, it's nothing to be ashamed of. And honestly, it's going to help you in the long run.
100%. 100%. I just put out a video recently, and I looked at the actual failure rates for COMLEX and family physicians. It's something like 13% of all family physicians have failed any board exam, specifically levels 1 or 2, which is a lot. That's a lot of people. So, you know, it's not just you. If you're thinking like, hey, is this just me? Like, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. You just haven't figured out how to study yet. Would you agree with that, Shannon?
I definitely would agree with that. And I can also say this: get help now before you are in my shoes. Yeah. And you've, you know, taken it once and not passed it. Dr. Lucas can help you now. Yeah. And he can help you when you need to, but definitely, if you can avoid it, avoid that.
Right. Absolutely. Shannon, unfortunately, you are going to be asked in your residency interviews, like, why did you fail? And anybody that fails is going to be asked that. So ideally, and to make it worse, unfortunately, again, Shannon, sorry, your application, your application, because you failed once, will probably be automatically screened out by certain programs, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course.
I hope you weren't planning on doing derm. It makes
Definitely not.
it makes it a lot harder. Almost impossible, unfortunately.
Yeah. So if you want to match into something super competitive, listen to Dr. Lucas and go get some help.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry to put you down on that one, Shannon. So you mentioned that just having a more organized plan and kind of consolidating the resources you were using was a big help to you. Was there anything else that really helped you out along the way and you feel like really just kind of pushed you over the edge and helped you get that pass second time around?
Sure. When you're studying alone, it is hard to keep yourself accountable, especially with solo studying. I mean, it's just like you get up every day, it's Groundhog Day, you do the same thing over and over again. Maybe you're not going anywhere with it. Maybe the scores aren't increasing as much as you like or whatever it is. So with Pre-Educated and working with Dr. Lucas, it held me. Dr. Lucas held me to be accountable, make sure I'm doing my Anki cards, make sure I'm doing the number of questions every day, getting through the reviews, understanding how to review effectively. Oh my gosh. So all those things combine into like a little bubble of accountability. So that was like the biggest thing that really helped in addition to improving the resource overload and stuff like that.
Yeah. I definitely have heard that before too. It's just like every session we come together, first thing I ask you is, are you keeping up with your Anki? Are you keeping up with your question blocks? Are you falling behind? Are you going too quickly? Just making sure that you're staying on track. Cool. All right. Well, Shannon, the question on my mind at this point is, will you be returning to us for level 2?
Of course.
Sweet.
Of course I will.
Perfect.
And, we're going to hit it from the ground running and hopefully do well on level 2. I have no doubt. So,
yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll
So
be coming back.
Before you take it, not after, hopefully.
Listen, of course.
One and done this time.
Yeah, one and done.
Perfect.
I want to sit there for 9 hours twice, okay?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Right. And then, pay $600 or something to schedule it a second time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you had COMAT prep, I would pay for that too. But
I do have COMAT prep, actually. Today's sponsor is Pre-Educated. Yes. No, seriously. We do COMAT, we do NBME, we do residency advising, level 1, level 2, level 3. I've worked with residents too. Absolutely. I've worked with MD medical students studying for USMLE. We do everything. The only thing I can't do for you is show up to the test and take it for you.
Darn.
Yeah, right. Maybe if I got like a really convincing wig.
Yeah.
All right, Shannon. Well, thank you so much for letting me waste your time today. I'm sure people watching this will have some questions for you. Can I leave your email in the description of this video and have people reach out to you that way?
Yes, of course.
Perfect. All right. Well, Dr. Kirkland, as you were tending the fields, raising the chickens, and becoming a doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then I don't remember the next question, so give me a second.
I'm getting a view of the ceiling.
Yeah, no,
it's
it's nice. It's a nice ceiling, right?
It's great.
You know what? Maybe you just prompt me. How about that? You just tell me what the question is.
I'll run the show.
I haven't had to refund anybody yet.
See, you should say that. Oh my God.
Oh,
Whoever your editor is, you're going to give him a raise. That's great.
no.
You give him a hug.
I'll give him a virtual hug.